Instead of chasing people, flip the script and get them to chase you by learning how to communicate your value. This is something that I am always aware of, and you should be too, and all you have to do is just follow these exact steps. Now, this is part of a larger system called High Vibe Communication, which is an online course of mine that came out a little over a year ago, and to celebrate its anniversary, I put together a very special deal for you, as well as updated content. Click the link below right now. This is a limited offer. Get access to the deal, the updated content, and as always, enjoy. Value is ultimately what causes, quote unquote, attraction in any setting. It could be romantic, it could be friendship, it could be in a business setting, any setting. Value equals attraction. Value speaks to your RAS, your reticular activating system. Right now, where are you all focused? On what I'm saying. In this moment, in this environment, the words I'm saying, this content, this presentation is the most valuable thing to you. That's why you're focused on me and not, the person next to you or the ceiling or whatnot. It's like you're just locked in on me. Now that's general, and we're going to be breaking this down, but there's also more specific value where there are going to be times during this presentation where I'll say something that you will really lock in on more than other things. And you might lock in on something, and when I say that, you might not as much, and then I'll say another thing where you lock in more, but not you, so it does fluctuate, but that's what causes attraction. It's like, value, it's where your attention goes. It speaks to the RAS. Okay, and ultimately, if you want to break it down, value is anything that increases your chances of survival, reproduction, or anything that makes you feel good. Good emotions. But that one can be tricky because you can feel good emotions for things that actually hurt your chances of survival and reproduction, and you backwards rationalize that it's good for you. Okay. Now this applies to, again, this will benefit me, but it also applies to threats. Right? If suddenly, as a joke, some lion came in, you're not going to be listening to what I'm saying. Right? So this is always on. We're always scanning for value in any environment. Here's another good exercise. If you close your eyes right now, do it. Close your eyes. And keeping your eyes closed, if I asked you right now, what are 5 things in this room that are red? Now open your eyes. What are you looking for? Red. You're like, what's red? What's red? What's red? What's red? Speaks to your focus. This is something that is primarily subcommunicated. Huge. It just happens unconsciously beneath the surface. We're always pinging for value. It's not something you have to overtly say or do. Okay, it's subcommunicated through behavioral cues and how people or the environment reacts to you. Those 2 things. For example, say me coming up here on stage. If I come up here, I'm very at ease. I'm loud, feel comfortable being loud, taking up, you could say, space emotionally, verbally, physically. What does that subcommunicate? Oh, this person probably had a lot of positive references in the past, probably used to be in this position of authority, feels very comfortable, even with the social pressure, et cetera, valuable. I don't have to say it. I'd be like, hey, everyone, I've done a lot of seminars, and it's like, if I show up and I'm like that, it's like, okay. Subcommunicated. Also subcommunicated on how people react to you. If you're talking to someone, like, you don't even have to be talking that much. Like, say it's a group of 3 people and we're all talking, and say you just kind of look at the outside, and say someone would ask you, who's the most valuable person? Say I am. Well, me. But in this situation, let's just say I'm not even talking that much. Like, they're talking a lot, but in the way that they react to me, you'll notice that if I even say one word, this is a hypothetical, they might just immediately shut up. So say they're like, oh, and this thing, and this movie, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. They're like, and they both turn to me real fast. Unconsciously, remember, follow the magnet effect. Oh, wow, this person is dictating here. He might not even say much, but immediately they react, right? Or if in how much they're talking, say it's to impress, you also notice those subtleties. So this is also good practice. Whenever you're out there, it's like, wait, who's reacting more to the other person? Key quote, in any social interaction, there's always one person reacting more to the other person and that person's reacting to them.
So you always want to analyze your behavior and micro behavior, not in the moment, because that'll get you in your head, but just ask yourself, what does this communicate, right? Me going up and say, here's an example. If you go up to someone to say hi and you're very hesitant, what does that subcommunicate? That you probably got some bad reactions in the past. You probably got quote unquote rejected in the past and your value is low, right? Otherwise, why would you go up so timidly? Only someone, excuse me, hi, only someone that timid. The only reason they would be that timid is they got bad reactions in the past, low value. If you're an awesome person, you should act as if you never got rejected before. How would you act as if you never got rejected before? Hey, how's it going? Loud. That there, oh, loud, expressive, subcommunicates a lot of value. It also subcommunicates you're comfortable dealing with social pressure, having eyes on you. It also means in the past, having eyes on you probably meant that people looked up to you and nothing bad happened, or you would not dare do that. If in the past you were loud and people beat you up or shamed you, you'd be quiet now today. So it's little things like that. Oh, and behavior, what does it communicate? And it's behavioral cues within yourself and your way of talking, your way of communicating. Same with holding eye contact, so on and so forth, being open, comfortable being open, right? People are afraid to hold eye contact. A big reason is it's that cheesy but yet true saying, you know, the eyes are the windows into someone's soul, is that people will sense, looking at you in the eyes, how congruent you are. The hardest place to quote unquote fake it is in the eyes. If you're not confident, people will see it mainly by looking at you in the eyes. So that's why if you're just like, hey, and you just are able to, and you're just, it's a sign of openness. And just like, yep, what you see is what you get, not hiding anything, massive value.
You can still sprinkle in verbal cues.
Things like disqualification. Why does this communicate value? It communicates that you aren't chasing them, right? Reacting also plays into chasing. And it sets a frame where it's like, you're proactively not chasing, right? It's like, oh, nice, you know, we'd never get along. That'd be one. Like, you know what? We'd never get along. Wait, what? Why? Right? Or, oh, I suck. Wait, what? It's like no one who's chasing or trying to impress would say I suck. So something like that, or you being so comfortable saying that and just really not even caring. You're like, oh yeah, you know what? I don't care so much that I'll even diss myself. But then it's also very different. Like you could say that also, people will say over the top, try hard. So it's always the place it's coming from. But that is something that communicates value in the verbal cues.
Saying things that would direct someone's focus or RAS towards a piece of information that they would find valuable. All right. For example, me coming up here, I could be like, I don't have to say that, oh, I've done tons of seminars. You'd probably assume it through the behavioral cues, right? But I could also say, you know, if I want you to all think, wow, he's so confident, say I were to come up here and I'm like, hey, everyone, so I'm actually pretty shy. What are you all going to think? No, you're not. You're up here on stage. You're confident. What did you all do? You just bragged for me. I did not say, by the way, do you notice how confident I am, everyone? Do you see it? Do you see how confident I am? No, but if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pretty shy. I suck at this. You're like, no, you're not. Look, you did this and this and this.
Inlines, you could apply this to a job. You could apply it to a situation or a person, right? If it's like an inline with a popular person, you can say things that only another popular person would know, right? Or, hey, does this ever happen to you? You know, people did this supplicating. Oh yeah, totally. That's crazy, right? Or, oh, you know, people talk to you. Is it always interview mode question? Oh yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah. Only someone who's on the in would know that. So dropping in lines communicates value. Okay. And then of course, associations, right? Associations to people or whatnot. It's like, oh, if you're friends with that person, like social alliances, value. Oh, you've been to that place, value. Oh, you know that, value.
Visual cues, you can rely on those as well. Things like, but be careful not to go over the top to where it's unrelatable, but things like wearing something that most people wouldn't feel comfortable wearing and being comfortable with it, key, right? If you wear something that most people would be too afraid to wear because it stands out and people sense that, they're like, oh, they're wearing that and they feel so comfortable wearing that, valuable.
Peacocking, right? That's an old school where you wear something that's a little bit out there. Can't be too far out there, but if it's a little bit out there, it communicates what? That you're okay with the social pressure of standing out, wearing something that most people wouldn't wear. Say you take me for a couple of years, a little less now, but I'll still do a bit. But for a couple of years, I would wear like these crazy fucking attires on stage, like robes and stuff. And what would I do? I'd actually combine it with the most obnoxious brand that communicates consumerism, which is Gucci. So I do Gucci and robes and stuff. And I would just act the way I normally act is who I am while wearing that, like fully owning it, not flinching, not being try hard, not being in my head about it. And what would that do? People would think, oh shit, like who's this person who can wear something so out there and feel so comfortable and confident wearing something so out there? Tolerance to social pressure, strong reality, owns who he is, what he's into, puts it out there. Massive value.
Environmental cues, for example, this idea of social proof, right? Where if you see someone and they have a big group of people all reacting to that person, loving that person, that is going to create a lot of value, okay? Social proof, think of it like it's the Amazon reviews, right? If you're scrolling through Amazon and you're looking for something, I don't know what it is, you'd be like, I want an air fryer. You're gonna scroll through and you're gonna look for the ones that has the most reviews and the best reviews, right? And that probably will be the number one thing you'll look for. You won't even, you might scroll a little bit through it, but you're not gonna look at all the details of how it's made compared to the others. You're like, hey, best reviews, most reviews, done. That's social proof. Hey, if all these other people are reacting to that person, they like that person, they consider that person valuable, those are the reviews, me too. Okay, so social proof. Acting off frequency. What does that mean? If you're, say, in an environment, there's a certain frequency of the environment. Say you go to a place where everyone's dancing, like a dance floor, right? Frequency is everyone's like dancing, like dancing. What we try to do is we're like, oh, well, for me to talk to people there, I got to start dancing too. And we adapt to, you could say, the rhythm of the environment. If you're actually able to go to an environment like that and still hold your own. So say everyone's dancing and you're just like casually walking through it, but just really grounded, very comfortable, that will be valuable. Where it's like, wow, this person can actually has such a strong reality that they don't just immediately adapt to the environment around them. Same as if you're in a very quiet environment and you're able to be loud. Like, hey, how's it going? Right? Like you literally just jumped up. You can do that, feel very comfortable, very valuable. Right? Strong sense of reality, which is valuable. You communicate that through things like that. Okay? Displaying that you're accustomed to social pressure. And then I wrote down here as a bonus, if you want to be valuable, this is how sad our world is here today. Simply create no downside.
At this point, the default for people in society is taking value. So we always think, okay, how do I offer value? But a way of actually offering value is simply not to take any value. If you simply don't take value, you have value. If you simply create no downside, you have value, because at this point, the default is downside. So say we take the vibe of like neediness. Imagine everyone's always needy, and you meet someone who isn't needy, even though they might have zero value to offer. You're like, you know what, this person's really not going to benefit my life at all, but they aren't taking anything. Great, it's better than nothing. Just the no downside provides so much value. So eliminating neediness, craving, et cetera, that there puts you above the majority of people.
This is something that once you start networking, say in the business scene, so on and so forth, you'll see it, or even the self-help scene, you would think that, say you took some famous self-help person, that for them to want to be associated with you, to talk to you, you'd have to really provide tons of value and show that you're doing all this stuff, but that's not true. All you have to do is be cool. You don't even have to offer much. You just have to be cool, not do all the mistakes that other people do, and they'll want to spend time with you. Because finding someone who can be normal and cool and not leechy around them is so rare. Now, the next step for you is to click the link below this video right now to get immediate access to my full step-by-step system to improving your social skills. I've personally been working on my own social skills since 2006 and teaching this since 2010, and this here is the fastest way to do so. So click the link right now, get access to the anniversary deal as well as the updated content, and I'll see you on the inside.